is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is a drill.
Hey guys, this is Julian of Julian Gray Media. Sorry we're running a little bit late today. It's about 12:36. We're supposed to start at 12:30, but just had some technical issues. Today we are doing another fixture project stream. We missed December because of all the holiday stuff, so we're gonna do the January one. We're gonna go a little bit longer than normal. I think we have like 6 projects for this this stream today. And as you know, if you are new to this channel or if you're new to these streams, we do these every month. And essentially, if you want to send your projects in, we work on them on the stream and I fix, quote unquote, what I would change to your project files to make them better. So if you want to participate in next month's stream, you can go ahead and check out the post in the description of this video. Head over to my Patreon account and pledge over $10, and then you're applicable to enter into these streams. We have to have that like $10 pay gate because otherwise we get way too many projects and it's impossible to get through them. We try to cap these off at like 5 to 6 projects a stream. All right, so we're gonna get things started. Let me go ahead and open up the first project file. We have Tigris, a longtime member of the stream, I guess. He's always in every single one. And he's one of my students. He has a track called Breaking Through, and we're going to get that open, and we're going to check that out. So let me switch over to my desktop. Oops, let me do that. And yeah, I could probably resize this a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll do that. Just trying to make it as nice as possible for you guys. Be a little bit small to see. All right, that should work. And let's go ahead and I'm going to drag this down and maybe make this a little bit bigger so that we can get rid of the top bar a bit. I don't think you guys need to see necessarily the far right-hand side. It's more important to see the left. Sorry I have to do this. I have an ultra-wide monitor, which is great when I'm working on stuff myself, but when I'm doing stuff like this, it gets very annoying because I can't fit the whole frame in the image. So I think I'm gonna cut it like around right there, and that's as big as it's gonna get. Okay, so here's the projects, and the first one is Tigris. So we're gonna hop right into it. First of all, let's check out the comment section over here, and I'm gonna pop out the chat so that I can see it while we work. Maybe I'll stick it off to the side so you guys can see it as well. Cool. And then let me collapse that. And now we're good to go. All right, so here is Tigris's track. We're going to start here, and let's play through. gonna listen to the whole track. I mean, it's like a 6-minute track or something. 7 minutes. Wow. So we're not gonna listen to the whole thing, but I kind of get the gist of where he's coming from for this guy. There's actually not a lot I would change to this. I think that the structure is really nice. The writing is always good from Tigris, and the mixing has been improving a lot from his last few streams or stream features. This is really solid. I think that the mix is actually really good. There's a few adjustments I would make. This vocal, as you probably saw, I soloed that out while we were listening. I think that's noticeably loud. I think it was guide vocals. Let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, that's a little bit loud. I would just dial that back, like 4 or 5 decibels. I think that'll fix the issue I have with it. Let's take it down 5 and see where we sit there. Because from this, I don't get like I don't get a lead vocal kind of sound. It's almost like a supporting element. It's so floaty and legato that I see this more as like a supporting vocal than I do like the front pop vocal style that you would do in like, big EDM songs. This is more trance, I think. It could use a little bit of like time-based effects like delay or reverb, I think, to push this back a bit. I'm calling for you. I think fully embrace that that distance that you're conveying here. Ooh, vintage verb. Nice skin. I'm calling for you. And I would generally not use this much reverb, but in this case, I think I'm calling for you. I think it really does add to the vocal tone because we're going for that very airy atmospheric vocal. I'm gonna increase your stereo width. I don't know why you had it at 30%. I'm just gonna put it back at 100. And Tigris is a big advocate for like these racks that do everything. I'm not super into this because it's a very big CPU hog, as you know. If you watch my streams with Tigris' songs in the past, my computer even now chugs playing some of his stuff, but whatever works for you. So there we go. Let's give this thing a listen. I'm calling for you. Yeah, it's nice. I'm calling for you. We're coming in kind of hot through this chain here. I'm calling for you. I do like the post reverb compressor. It's adding nice nuance to that reverb. It's catching some of those small nuances and bringing them up to a higher level. Very cool. And I think that's gonna fix most of the issue I had with that vocal. Let's go ahead and listen again. See, now that it's more subdued with the reverb, I think we can take it up a little bit, maybe like 2 decibels. I feel like as though this vocal is competing with whatever lead that is right here. I would try to filter down that lead right there and maybe build it up when the vocal is not playing because it feels very conflicting with that vocal there. This one. Hot through this chain. I'm just gonna turn some stuff down. I'm gonna output this at like -3 or 4. See if you have a low cut in here already. You should. High cut, yeah. I'm just gonna try to automate that and see if we can make that sound good. So high cut, and I'm just gonna bring this up a bit here, so that the vocal really can shine through. how like setting that back in the mix a bit has really helped bring the vocal forward. It's because you have that competing high information in this lead. I think the vocal's a little bit lost now. Maybe I'll turn that down just a little bit. Maybe like a 20%, 30, 25. I think that there's just too much low end in this vocal. It's kind of dragging it down. So I'm going to pull this in. I'm going for those like I remember kind of like old school progressive vocals. I think that's encompassed by this really high information with some reverb on it. Okay, let's check that out. Drops sounding good. I think that helped a lot for this section. Somebody in the chat, Louise said maybe sidechain the vocal to the lead. And I actually don't like doing that because I find that it compromises the lead sound a lot. I would rather just push it back with a filter or something than to duck it out when the vocal's playing. This is my method. Really liking where that vocal's sitting now. It's a little quiet. I'm going to turn it back up just a little bit, maybe like to 3. We're kind of in the right ballpark though. I don't want to go too loud. You're at like 2 decibels plus with some distortion. One of the things I'm hearing here is that the build-up drums are noticeably quieter than the drop drums. And I think the reason that is because this group is so quiet and the snare is at 100% volume here. And I would imagine that the other drums are too, like the kick or what have you. And we can't turn this snare up here anymore. Rather than turning this whole group up. And that's probably subconsciously making you not want to turn this up, even though it probably should be turned up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the snare down like -5. -5 too is fine. And then we're going to plus this guy. So we'll go up to like -6 or something here. -7. And that should resolve the issue I have with it. Fills are just a little too loud. You can see it like noticeably distorting. I'm just gonna turn these down a little bit. -4. Said my voice is low. I'm just going to turn up my microphone just a little bit. Hope that's a little bit better for you. Somebody in the chat said mid-side EQ on the vocal. What, to broaden out the top end on the highs? Could be interesting. Blue Fox said, Julian, as mentioned in our tweet yesterday, and being I'm a PreSonus user, does that disqualify me from getting my music chosen for this program? I don't use PreSonus personally, so I couldn't give you in-project advice for that. If you want to send in SoundCloud links, I'm willing to do that. I try to limit those because I don't want this to become like a SoundCloud feedback stream, because the purpose of this series is to give you a little bit more information than just, this is what I would change on the surface level. Because when I give feedback based on SoundCloud, I don't know, or like based on a stereo bounce at all, I don't know exactly what's going on in your project file, and this allows me to really dive in and fix some of your fundamental problems, or to identify some of them. So I prefer to do project files, but if you do want to send me one and you're a patron of the channel, yeah, you can send me a SoundCloud link, and that's fine. Hey Julian, I sent a project in earlier today. Were you able to get it? Yes, that's Wes Winder. We're gonna check out yours. I'll check out yours next, actually, Wes. That's cool. Tigris, we're actually working on your track right now. Welcome to the stream. All we've been doing basically is minor level setting and a little bit of adjustments on your vocal processing. But other than that, it's sounding pretty mint to me. I think those percussion changes and volume really helped set this part up. But I'm going to play through the build, and then we'll call this project wrap, because I think it's pretty solid. Amazing work as always. Tigris is an amazing producer, as you can tell. Go check him out. Link your stuff in the chat, bro. Great music. I'm going to save this one and we'll move on to the next. If it'll save, without beach balling of death. Your project files kill my computer every time. And I have a pretty ballin' computer right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and open up the next one. I promised Wes we would do his next because he's on the chat, and people who are on the chat have priority here. Let's do that. So what was your project called, Wes? I have several different project files, and I don't know which one it was called. Okay, let's go ahead and get the next one open. Again, I don't know which project yours is, Wes. If you can tell me in the next 5 seconds while I unzip these folders, we'll open up yours. I'm unzipping the project files that people sent me, so then we can get started on the next one. Anyway, guys, how was your holiday? Did you guys do anything creative? Do anything cool with your family? Let me know. I personally took a 2-week vacation from music at all, and I think it really helped my creativity come back. I was going through a bit of a rut there. Just kind of sick of working on the same songs, over and over. Okay, I'm unzipping these folders. Coast is the project file. I'll get that open while we unzip. Okay, there we go. Should be launching now. Hopefully all works. It should. Oh, I don't know why I have links off. I didn't know you could. Maybe you have to enable them or something. Okay, so the next one we're getting open is Coast. This is by Wes Winder. He's in the chat. I'm not sure what his alias is, unfortunately. If you can elaborate, Wes, that'd be awesome. Looks like you have a lot of loops going on. Just as a first note, let me go ahead and check this out. Welcome everyone to the chat. Really cool melodies. Let this play to like right here, and then we'll switch over to fixing it. Feel the Beat said, "Hey Julian, just curious, how do you see EDM in the next 10 years?" I will answer that in a few moments after we listen. Okay, so the number one thing I would say, first and foremost, is organization. You have to start labeling stuff, dude, because it's very hard for me to tell what's what, and I think that's a big hindrance to your workflow. If you don't know immediately what things are, you have a memory cue based on like, oh, I know because I just did that. But if you revisit this project in like a year, it's going to be hard to identify what everything is straight up. And you should be able to just look at things and know exactly what they are. So I encourage you to use more colors, use labels that are relevant to each of the things. And you'll find yourself making better music when you're more organized. This is like a lead. I'm assuming this group is leads. I'm just gonna go ahead and open that up. I mentioned in the other project, high information is important for conveying that perception of being close or present. So I'm actually going to give the lead a bit of a boost there. instead of cutting it. That's first, and then I'm gonna try to work on your drums a bit. I think that, as someone mentioned in the chat, the clap's very weak and the kick doesn't sit quite right. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I think relative to everything else, the kick's a bit loud. And use the first FabFilter Pro L because I don't have the second one, and I feel like to really do the song justice I need to hear it through a limiter, so I'm just going to use the original. Some EQ on that kick. I think we need some high end. I'm not sure how this kick plugin works. I don't wanna mess it up. Definitely need some high information though. I think that click is achieving that. Very interesting. This hi-hat is out of key. Let's go ahead and see if I can tune that up. About right to me right there. I'm gonna give it some more of that top end back. Again, the hi-hat needs it. Let's go ahead and try the clap now. I think that's just too quiet. Let's boost it like 10 decibels. Give it some EQ. Need some crunch on the top. No crunch in the bottom. Decay shorter. Just gonna mess with these a bit. I liked it where it was. I think the reverb's a bit much. And sometimes I like to compress my clap to my kick drum so that you can get a very short. I think they're emptying the dumpster outside. Unfortunately, sorry about that. Sometimes I like that to use a sidechain compressor on my clap to my kick drum so that we get this very short attack on the clap, and it almost acts as a transient shaper. So let me show you how that works. So we're listening for the little top end of the kick. And we want it to take effect like after the initial hit of the clap. And we want it to go all the way down, basically. And it makes it a little bit more punchy. So I'm going to try that. Let's go ahead and check that with a mix. feels like slightly late, and I don't know if that's just the trigger or if it's something else, but it's not landing quite right. So what I'm gonna do is just highlight everything, and we're gonna drag it over like a few milliseconds. I think we really need a sharper hi-hat and a sharper clap. You're using all synthesis for this stuff. I would suggest finding like a sharper clap sample. Let me solo the drums together really quick. Either that or get like your own recordings of them. Let that high end through from the hi-hat sample, and we're gonna just do that. Makes it a little more interesting. Turn up the hi-hat a bit. Maybe give the clap some more volume. Like that, and let's try that in the mix now. That bass sound, I want to try to get it fitting a little bit better. I think it's this guy. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just add in a group. And we're going to try a little bit of sidechain on this. I think you have one on there, but it's not quite cutting it. It's going to grab the kick, pull it above a certain highness. See if that helps at all. Let's listen to it now. I don't know if I like this this clap generative plugin here. I think it's just kind of sloppy. Like it's not producing the same clap every time, and I would say that's one of the main things I would change is clap just doesn't feel quite right. Kick sounds alright now. I also noticed in your breakdown sections you don't have a lot of low end at all. I would try to either add in something else here, like a piano or like another sort of pad, or maybe you can use this and just filter off the bottom, so you have less of a bass sound and more of like a mid-tone. We can try that like this. I'm just going to turn this off and on. Turn it on for the that breakdown section, then off for the drops. It's kind of sloppy, but you get the point, and you can integrate it your own way when you get the project back. Turn the filter off there and then just kind of let it sit and then bring it back out like this. And then maybe make a variation here so it's not as boring. I can't do it, but what I would do is I would hold this note here for twice as long. He says maybe it's a spread. I'll just turn that off. I think you could probably compress this lead bus a little bit right after the reverb. I think it would sound pretty nice with the compressed reverb. And then copy the sidechain over to that group as well. Ozone 9. But I much prefer Ozone to the Fab Filter stuff. I think it does a better job with limiting without distortion. But yeah, I mean that's what I would change to this one so far. I think it's definitely a really solid idea, and I think the mix changes we made really helped it. I would say experiment with other drum sounds and experiment with adding some low information to this breakdown. I think that's going to help a lot in both breakdowns. Okay, that's number 2 of 6. I think we're going to open up. Let's see. We'll open up. Myra by Andelicious next. Oh, let's go ahead and get that going. We'll do that next. Hopefully we can get through all of these today. I was going to say, Ozone I think does a better job at maximizing than Fab Filter. Personally, I prefer the way it sounds. I would try Ozone 8 Maximizer on there instead of Pro L. But alas, it's too late. Thanks for submitting, Wes. It's a really awesome project file, and I like the sound of it a lot. To answer Feel the Beats question earlier, I see EDM kind of going towards less EDM, less and less EDM, and more towards real music and becoming more of a reflection of like the genre pool that music has become now. I feel like music is going towards a direction where everything is intertwined. There's no more genres, at least in the traditional regard. And music will have like feelings. Like there'll be like harsh music and there'll be softer music, but I don't think there's going to be genres anymore as electronic instruments integrate into modern music. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let's go ahead and check out Myra. Let's go ahead and do it. This is a really cool one. I heard it yesterday. Let's go ahead and listen. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on yours, Andy, just because we have a lot to get through, but I'm going to play it for the people and make a few adjustments. So cool. One second. Such a cool melody. One thing to note is that we're coming in way hot. I think we just got to turn everything down a bit. There's so much potential in this one. I could work on this for 5 hours. Okay, let's start from the top and go through. I think there's a lot of things I can make better. First of all, this is too loud. I don't want to be clipping mid-chain like that. I like where your reverb is. I'm going to give it a little bit more. And then I'm going to compress after your reverb. I kind of want to catch some of the nuances of it and bring them up. how some delay would sound on this. I'm not committed to the idea yet, but let's see. Okay, so I'm hitting this point where I'm trying to turn things up and I can't. So what I'm gonna do is just turn everything down and then we'll bring everything up. So I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top, hold shift and then highlight. And we're just gonna turn everything down like 5 decibels so we have some more playroom. Okay, let's do that. Then what I'm gonna do is turn up the bass just a little bit. First, I'm going to tweak your limiter a bit. Come on, Ozone. All right, let's not have a fit here. And I think your lead should be much louder than your pluck, so I'm going to put that at like -6. Maybe -5. And I think your lead should open up entirely right when that bass comes in, and you should do a big hit there. Do you have any like big... That is not. Nope. You need like a impact or something. Oh, here you go. That's the top impact that we need. We need a bottom impact though. Let me grab one really quick. I probably have one. We'll do Black Octopus and we'll do impacts. I just want like a... That'll do. And I just don't want any of that high end. I just want the low end. We can make one of these with like a synth and a sub sweep, but I don't feel like doing it right now. So we'll just use an impact. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll do this. Yep. And let's make that hit right when that lead comes in. Yep. Top one doesn't need to be there actually. And I want to open up this quickly as we go into that part right there too. A bit too. Just the key here is automation, guys. Just getting the parts to feel like they're dynamic and not just sitting there. Let's do that. This is such a cool track. Yeah, you're missing the snare there, buddy. Maybe we can just drag one. Sounding cool. Let's go ahead and play through again. I think what you really need is like a vocal ambience sound here to really fill up that space. Let me try something really quick. This is such a cool one. Like that, and we're gonna tune it down one. Actually, plus one. Yep, and turn it down, way down, and we're just gonna do the quarter notes. Do the quarter notes like that. Highlight, duplicate. Don't care if it overlaps a bit. And what I'm gonna do is distort the crap out of it, like so. Give it some high end, and then we're gonna take an OTT and just destroy it. And I think this kind of floating pad sound that I'm creating here is gonna create a very nice atmospheric effect that adds a lot to the tone of what you have in there. Let's try some reverb, Valhalla Room, and then let's go ahead and give this thing a listen. Those are not quarter notes, those are half notes. I'm gonna try this again. Cool. The quarter notes. There we go. And now we have like a really cool, like, sweeping vocal part. Do some delay on that guy too. And on this pluck that you have here, I'm gonna do some EQ as well. I think that will help. This one's really inspiring to me because this is the kind of stuff that I've been writing lately, and it really fits in what I've been doing. So I already have delay on there. I'm going to do that and then maybe a little bit of OTT, and then we'll see if that sounds good. Let's go ahead and grab both of these and put them over here before the Valhalla. Actually, before the time base too. And then just give it like a 50%, maybe like a 40%. When that comes in, so we can do a note below. melody is kind of piercing. I agree. I don't want to low pass it because I don't want to lose the top information. What I'm actually going to do is just notch out some frequencies. I'm going to pull 2K out. I'm going to pull 4K out. And we can obviously massage that a bit, but I just want to pull out some of the really harsh ones. And I think your pad is just a little bit too mono too. I don't know which one that is. Especially is very mono. That is mono. So what I'm going to do is turn on pan position, and then we're going to drag it over a little bit. It's been years since I've used Massive. Is the same problem. Okay, let's try that now. Drop the bass. Get rid of this here. Added a layer. Cool. I'm gonna just take a quick look at those drum and bass drums. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it's a banger, so I love it. So. Okay, so that. too much low end there. Pull that out. Like that. Give it a little more high. Yep. Snare's too long. So like a micro millisecond too long. Yep. The future doesn't scare me at all. You guys like Kingdom Hearts? Kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, like simple and clean. I don't know why. It doesn't sound anything like Kingdom Hearts, but I love Kingdom Hearts, and it sounds kind of like that. Reverse. Copy. Paste to there. See if that works. High pass this part as we go here just a little bit, so we lose some of the momentum of that drum and bass section. I don't want it to carry into the build up too much, so I think you just go with like a set rhythm for this instead of continuing this melody. Aperture was saying a similar thing in the chat. I'm just saying you could probably make this different here. Let me do this. Hold on. Bam. Might even be able to try one of these, like a pitch bend here. I'm spending too much time on this song, Andy. I love that pitch bend doesn't catch on Ableton. That's so annoying. This is forever known as the MIDI catch clip. So if your MIDI ever gets off, there it is. I don't even know if it needs this layer. You could probably downsize this section a bit just by getting rid of some of these layers you don't really need. It's causing like these weird phasing in the pad. I think that was probably done to make it sound bigger, but in the end it's really more important just to get a good sound. Yeah, it's definitely better without it. I think either you don't sidechain this to the snare, or you do a kick on every snare like this. Because it's kind of weird when the big chord thing cuts out for the sake of the snare. I would just, you know... I think that actually sounds better without it. Let me just grab that really quick, and then we're gonna call this a wrap because I've worked on this too long. Andy, you have to stop sending me the fire because I work on it all day. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna do that, and we're just gonna make the side chain react only to the kick instead of both, because I think there's no reason to do both. And also, workflow tip, I would suggest making these different colors. So like when you know that you want to recall that idea, you can quickly just grab it. Let's make this one like red, because I know that one's that. That one's yellow, and then this one is blue, for example. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's check that out of the beginning into the first drop, and then we'll call it a wrap on this one. Too. Okay, no more work, no more work, no more work. No more. I'm not totally set on the sidechain thing. Maybe you can try like adding the second kick, like I was saying instead. But just mess with it. Sounds really great. No more work on this. Tigris said maybe you can add the vocal pad with the drop. You can try that for sure because it's a good idea. All right, this is Andy Licious. That's not his name for long. He's changing his name soon, but fantastic work. Fantastic work. I've got to collect all and save that one because I added some samples. That was a banger. That's one of the best ones I think I've ever gotten in this the whole series, which is awesome. Okay, next up we have we did Myra, we did Tigris. Let's do Fresco Baldy, and it's called Koro Plastered. This one looks rather small. Shouldn't be too complicated. And we'll dive in and see what we can adjust and maybe make some suggestions. It looks like the project file is like less than a megabyte, so I'm assuming that it's only like minor stuff. Or maybe hold on, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the ALS only, of course. Cool. Missing a lot of things that he has. Let's still check it out though. This is Cora Placid by Fresco Baldi. Fresco Baldi. It's Fresco Baldi. However you want to pronounce that. So let's go ahead and check this out. So before we continue listening to this, Fresco, if you're in the chat, I guess John Davis is Fresco. What is like the application for this song? Are you going to try to make this into electronic music? Are you going for more of like a? It sounds to me like more soundtracky or gamey, and I think for that genre, you've really nailed it. Just let me know what you think as far as what genre or what style you're going for here, because I don't want to give you incorrect advice for the wrong platform. I think for what it is, though, it sounds really awesome. I love that like phaser or whatever you have going on this. It's really nice. I just want to give it a little bit of an EQ curve. Give it a little bit more top, but then trim off the top. I like how like muted it is. Maybe like try a little bit of like unsynced delay on that top end. It really would play off of those IDM like soundtracky feels. really enjoying this. It's like incredibly unique and cool for, I don't generally get this kind of stuff. I would say you can probably apply an LFO to these. I think I have the max for live device for that. What is it called? LFO, maybe? Really? Oh, I can't place it in this rack. Basically, I want you to automate this randomly, like create like random curves. I think that would create really cool effects here. Maybe not like this wet either, or this long of feedback, but you get kind of what I'm saying. I don't want to go in and do all these automations for you because I feel like that's a really creative thing. But yeah, I added a little bit of modulation on this filter here, so it kind of is sweeping back and forth at a very slow rate. So you get this really nice dynamic feeling to those drums, and the delay I think adds a lot of like nice texture to those drums. There's not a lot I would change to this actually. It's very, very nice for what it is, and I think it's very different, and I like that a lot. Let me go ahead and add this a group to this string track. I just want to add a little bit of EQ to this. Give it some brightness and then cut the bottom. Some like stereo delay on that string just to add a little bit of stereo intrigue. I think the key to this one is going to be like creating that nice atmospheric feeling with stereo effects, because it's very legato and drawn out, so you have to make that maintain interest. It feels very soundtracky to me. Somebody in the chat mentioned it sounds like it's from Assassin's Creed. I agree 100%. It sounds very like, it has a modern take on very classic sounding stuff. Turn up the lead just a little bit. I'm going to group that and maybe try a little bit of delay on there too. Or like phaser or something. You can try some filter automation maybe. Like, I'll just do it here because I don't know where you're planning to do the arrangement, but maybe try some like filter opening and closing. And this guy, I feel, is a little bit too staccato. I'm going to try to soften that up a bit with some EQ. Just want to take off that sharp edge I think that's created up here. Yeah, nice. Melody's so cool right there. Oh, I didn't even catch the switch up at the end here. I don't know that this needs to be 100% left. Man, that's amazing. That's incredible. Okay, so I'm gonna save this guy. One of my favorites so far. You guys are knocking it out of the park today. These are great. Go ahead and save that, and we'll move on to the next one. That incredible. We've had two incredible ones in a row. Whenever I get these sort of like IDM or like more, for lack of a better word, like musical submissions, it really excites me because of how different it is from what I do usually. So great job, and let's move on to the next guy. So next up we have one called Imperial Junk by Marc Eldon. Let's go ahead and get that guy open. I actually like the attack on the flute as it was, but somebody mentioned in the chat they would like some attack to soften up that flute. I like how it is. I can see how that would be. This reminds me a lot of I can't think of the band right now or the artist right now, but it's this old Japanese composer who was really famous for using saw waves and sine waves as like the lead element of the song. I have to look it up for you and find it. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section. But there's this old Japanese composer from the 70s and 80s that created these masterful like classical compositions and used synths as like some of the voices of the composition. So it's definitely reminds me of that. If I think of it while we work, I will mention it. All right, this is Marc Eldon, Imperial Junk. Let's go ahead and check this out. Not like that. Oh, that's sick. I'm excited to hear what comes next. does not like this one. Let's try this. This guy, compositionally, this is beautiful. It's like a very nice 80s lounge kind of track. That's the vibe I'm getting, at least. Gives me vibes of that era. Synthwavy, but not. Really, really nice. I think the only thing it needs is some mixing and arrangement help. So first and foremost, like I noticed in the beginning, this noise sample sounds kind of weird. Maybe I would bury some of the top end and push it like into this kind of region. Yeah, I think that helped a lot. It's more subdued now, and it's not as jarring to me. Somebody said, you need more CPU. So I have one of the top-of-the-line i7s that exists right now. I think it's the second newest generation i7. It's the 8-core. But fun fact, Ableton only utilizes single-core performance, so each individual channel is mapped to a single core. So you don't ever get to utilize your full multi-core per channel. So if you have one channel that's super intensive, like let's say you have a channel with 15 voices on it, 16 voices, that channel will tank your CPU because of one core. And that's the reason why you can have percentages over 100%. It's because that 100% is 100% per core. Whereas you can max out single cores and have 7 cores doing absolutely nothing, and your Ableton will run slow. So it's not my CPU, it's bad design by Ableton's part. And I only know this because my friend works at Ableton, and he has this problem discussing it with people all the time. It's not a computer thing, it's an Ableton problem. The same project file would not be as sluggish in like Logic. So I kind of want to hold off on the kick until we hit that breakdown. That was one of the other things I noticed. I kind of want to like let it ride for a bit. I think breaks are much more appropriate than build-ups here. It feels very loungy, and I'm not trying to build up to anything. It's a very chill song, and I don't think building up to a drop is necessary. So let's go ahead and disable the build-up kicks. I think just keep it on a quarter note. You guys absolutely killed it today. Like, these are some of the best submissions I think I've ever gotten on a fixer project before. Turned up the click a little bit on the kick. Why does that tone like totally change right here? Oh, it doesn't have the sub anymore. It's really not a sub, but I think we should have it in the drop if we have it there. And I think we should do a little bit of side chaining on the bass sounds as well. Not too aggressive here because it's a very subtle song. Let's see if this sounds good. Ducks under that kick a little bit better. I'm going to copy that to these chords too. I'm just going to go ahead and group these chords and put the side chain on there. Like so. And give this some more high end. Turn it up a bit. Yeah, nice chords, man. Super 80s. Give it more high end back. I think it's missing some, so. Ah, it's so nice. Automate that cutoff here too, so you can get like some more flexibility out of this. So I'm gonna automate that filter cutoff here. Bring in that high end. Very, very nice. I think the limiter's doing a little too much though. I think we can even improve this a little bit more, just add some more fine-tune automation that takes time to get to. So we're going to add some fine-tune on this LFO3. And then what we're going to do is load a sine wave and we're going to apply a quarter note rate, and we're going to set the rise to a half a bar, maybe a whole bar, we'll see. Half a bar, and then it's going to start right, and then it's going to fall out of tune as it goes. Let's hear this. Yeah, super 80s. That's so sick. His leads are so cool. So sick, God. Oh man, that's so good. Jesus. Little compressor after the end. Cool. I'm gonna save that. Dude, this one's so good. The past three have just been out of this world good. The whole stream's been great. This is one of the best streams I think we've had so far. Man, this is amazing. I get like Miami Vice vibes, like super. It's like retro wave, but it's not. It's new and fresh. So cool. I don't know what my favorite one was today because we had so many good ones. Let's go ahead and play this through, maybe a little bit, maybe to this drop part, and then we'll move on to the next boy. I also think you could probably trim some of this beginning. I say you start the song like here, to be honest with you. That's so cool. That's so cool. Cool. You guys get it. Sounds great. Another great one for this stream. I think we have one more. Maybe two. I'm going to try to get through these last two the next 15 minutes because I've been live for an hour and 45 already. And I'm not trying to be on for 2 hours over. So let's see if we can get this one going. Somebody actually said Miami Vice in the comment section. Yeah, I 100% agree. It sounds like exactly like that. It's got that nice loungy sunset driving into the palm trees and stuff vibe. So cool. The neon sunset, basically. All right, we're loading up the next one, which is MDCCCXX by Crone. All right, let's check this boy out. I'm not going to take too long on this one because Crone and I do private lessons, so I don't want to take up too much time on this one, but we'll take a quick listen. I think I get the gist of where this is going. I think one of the major things I think could be improved on this guy is separating some of the elements from each other. There's a lot of high information going on. There's not a lot of lows. And the bass is kind of underwhelming throughout. What I'm going to do is just unfreeze this. I know I don't have the plugins, so let's see how much damage that did to the sound. not very much. I'm gonna unfreeze, and we'll just get rid of the 2 plugins that he has on here. Sorry, bro. I just want to make your track good. First of all, I'm gonna remove the delay or whatever that is on here. Don't think you need that on bass. Not helping anything. Then I'm gonna remove the excess notes, and we're gonna legato the bass. Also, then I'm gonna change this from bipolar to a single way. I think it was this one. Just allows for more control. I also think you need something an octave below this, so I'm gonna try this. Not sure of why you're putting this high cut on the, or high pass on the bass channel. You need that low end, so I'm gonna get rid of this sub here. We have one over here. Looks like envelope 1 has a attack as well. What I'm gonna do is make the first envelope just a digital on and off, because the first envelope controls the attack of the amplitude of serum, and I don't want that. I just want to keep it on when a note's playing and keep it off when a note's not. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to apply a new envelope if we need to the volumes to achieve what he was doing there. I don't know that the flip automation is necessary here. Maybe we'll add some voices instead. See, I feel like that's much cooler. Then I'm going to enable automation lock so we don't overwrite any of his automation if he has any. We're going to duplicate, and on this guy, we're just going to do the same thing. Highlight the notes that are ghosts, delete, and legato. Just needed some more low information. I feel it was very lacking in the lows. Okay, and then we're gonna grab these, paste them here. There we go. And then as for your sub, let's check that out. I don't think it was quite low enough. I don't know why he's using operator either. I'm just gonna grab in serum for this guy. I think we can get a cooler sub out of serum anyway. And let's no saturator, and we'll just try that. Sounds pretty good. And let's go ahead and check this out in the context of the track. And then I want to hear how these elements add to the track as well. Something's going on with this guy. Not sure. I think this has too much top information and the pluck is a little too drastic. I'm just gonna dial that back a bit. And I always like to make my my automation my macros one direction so that I have a little bit more control over, at least visual control over what it's doing. Open it up less and roll off some of the bottom, or the top rather. Doesn't need the saturator, it's just adding noise. And let's listen to that. Pretty hard right now. So what I'm gonna do is just turn this off, and we're just gonna turn down the track right here. Short of turning everything else down, we can just do it here without any noticeable change. Too loud. Let me turn these two down. And I think in general, some of the sound design is a little bit on the more toyish side. I would try to make some adjustments to those, and that's something I would revisit. I think the bass helps a lot. I don't want to do too much more work on this. It's there's a lot I would change, but for the sake of time, I'm trying to get to everyone. Really cool musical ideas, though. I really like them. I'm gonna pull like 2K out of this, see if it helps. It's a little bit piercy. It's actually not this. It's the lead channel. Wherever the lead is. And wherever that lead is, there's way too much like distortion on it. By the looks of it, there's a lot of stuff going on here, probably an unnecessary chain. I think the fundamental problem is not this, but in the sound design itself. So I would go in, maybe try to simplify the chain. You can try deleting all of it and starting anew, just with a new sound. I think you get a better sound, because this is very piercy, and I don't want to hurt the listener's ears. I think it's a little bit too high. A curve like this can help, but I think the fundamental problem is in your sound design. It's not. We shouldn't be trying to fix that on a bus level. Okay, so that's MDCCCXX by Kron. Definitely some cool ideas here. Needs some work, but definitely coming along. In general, everything's just a bit too quiet too, or too loud too. We have to turn everything down. But yeah, so that's Kron. We'll get more into this in our private lessons, Kron. There's some stuff I would adjust, but again, the ideas are sounding cool. So we're gonna take a quick look at the last project. I don't know whose project this was because they didn't add their name to it. When you submit project files, please put your name in the project file so I know. And yeah, just so I know who it is and I can give credit to the person, because yeah. Some tracks contain missing free samples. Lead. Do you wish to unfreeze these tracks? No. Keep frozen. Let's try and see if this works. I don't know what's going on with my Ableton here. Well, let me turn this up. I think you didn't properly collect all and save, bud. We might have to skip this one for this time, and you'll have to send me a better collect all and save, because it seems as though a lot of your samples are offline. And for some reason, the project file isn't playing a lot of your sounds. I think it's because we're missing samples. Let's see. I don't know where your clap is. Oh God, this is a pretty hefty rack here. I see. There we go. Yeah, it seems like the samples are offline, so I would try to fix that before we dive into this. I can hardly hear anything. I can hear like the lead keys. Well, I'm gonna turn everything up like 10 decibels, 20 decibels. All good, Chuck. We'll make you the first one next time. I can hear sub and I can hear the keys, but nothing else. Okay, I think that's gonna wrap up this month's project stream. Chuck, next time we'll feature you first. Just send the same project over if you want to. Just collect all and save correctly. If you have any issue doing that, just hit me up on DM and I'll help you figure it out. Yeah, it seems like everything's missing. So awesome, guys. It's been a great stream this time. I've been live for almost a little over 2 hours, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We had a lot of awesome entrants today. Some of the best I've ever had on these Fix Your Project streams. And yeah, definitely, if you're interested in submitting your own projects next time, go over to Patreon and make a pledge and submit your project file for the next one, and it could be worked on stream by me and get some critique from the community as well. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you are featured in the stream, you can download your project file in the description below. The link that's down there currently, I think, is not it, so you might want to wait a few minutes so I can upload the new one. It should be up there by tonight. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support on Patreon and all of your pledges. And I'm glad that you trust my opinion enough to get me to work on your music and do so in front of a live studio audience. That's just YouTube comment section. But, you know, thank you so much. And I guess I will talk to you guys next month. We'll be doing this in February as well. And again, send in your project files and make a pledge if you haven't, and we can get your projects in the next one. All right. I'm Julian of Julian Gray Media. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.